Welcome back to Relocate to Happiness, the show where we talk about well-being in a way that actually fits inside real life. I'm your host, Luca Shaked, and today's episode is for anyone who has ever thought, I want more energy, I want a clearer mind, I want to feel good in my body, but I don't want my whole life to become a checklist. Because let's be honest, the internet has turned well-being into a full-time job. 1 minute is track your sleep, track your steps, track your glucose, track your HRV. Then it's cold plunge, sauna, red light, supplements, breathing protocols, fasting windows. And don't forget, your mindset has to be perfect too. And the question is that well-being? Or is it just a new way to be stressed? So today we're going to talk about biohacking, and we're going to talk about it like grown-ups. Not like hype, not like trends, not like you're failing if you're not doing it all. My guest is Roy Eden, and he's someone who lives in the world of high performance. He has what he calls the Ironmind Code. And whether you're an athlete or not, this is really about something bigger. How do you build discipline, recovery, and resilience in a way that supports your happiness, not replace it? In this conversation, we're going to get into the real stuff. What biohacking actually means when you're not trying to win the internet, the habits that give you the biggest return, sleep, stress, focus, recovery, and the difference between optimizing because you love your life versus optimizing because you don't feel safe unless you're in control. So if you're listening and you've been feeling tired, scattered, unmotivated, or like your nervous system is constantly stuck in go mode, I want you to know something. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're probably just overloaded. And Roy and I are going to talk about how to start climbing out of that, not with perfection, but with simple strategies you can actually stick to. Let's go into it. Oh my God. Welcome, Roy. I can't believe that we made it. You're here.
After a very long time.
After like many, many months, you saw that I was perseverant. I didn't give up on you. And I'm very, very grateful to have you here today. And I think that you're going to have like amazing tips to share like with the people. And let's start.
I'm blessed and honored to be here. And thank you very much for giving me the platform. And I hope that we have an interesting podcast.
And we're going to enjoy. We're going to have some fun. You're going to see that it will be like just like this.
It's all about relocate to happiness. And we are relocating to happiness
together,
right now.
Together.
Full focus.
Okay. So first question I want to ask you before we dive into your like story, and I want to get you back to think about that moment when well-being was a non-negotiable, was something that you said, this has to be part of my life.
Interesting question. I lost my father at a very early age. I was 12, he was 37. And it was quite a shocking experience to us. He was a healthy man, 37 years old, tall, looked like Christopher Reeve, if anybody remembers Superman, and was diagnosed with a cancer. And within 6 months, he disappeared. And of course, it was a shock to the entire family. It was a surprise. And I think I entered a state of a dream. That life is so fragile and so unpredictable, and maybe at that point, I'm just now today reflecting on how it was back then, but I realized that I need to do something that it does not happen to me. And maybe, just maybe, I became hypochondriac and started to check myself and analyze myself and temper with myself. And that's what led me to believe that well-being is important. Whether I took it to the extremes and pushed it even further, that's something at the time I did not know, but I guess it happened. And that's where we are today.
I'm sorry to hear that. And I feel you. And think about it. So many years after, it's something like this is your why. This is the moment, it started like you were 12, but it's today. And this is, I think, the basic reason why you created the Ironmind Code, right, for your daughters. And if you could share with us, what is Ironmind Code, like in one sentence, just shortly?
Well, first of all, Ironmind Code is a set of discipline, routines, a consistent routine that helps you to build a certain resiliency, which allows us to combat life or to enjoy life, no matter what happens, no matter what life throws at you. You bring in a certain traits and virtues of resiliency that allows you to navigate life in a much better joy, much less stress, much less anxiety. And we hear it constantly, left, right, and center. That people go through life with a lot of pain. And I thought at almost the age of 50 to enter the social media, but not for the fact of any desire to sell a code to others or plans to others, but to create a digital album, a framework of what is the Ironmind Code that my daughters, when I'm gone, or when I'm frail and just not how I am today, will be able to take a look and really see how their father lived, as opposed to me and my siblings. We have very little documentation of how my father was back then. I'm referring to almost 40 years ago. We didn't have social media, certainly not the smartphones. So all we have left with is a few pictures, maybe one video, and a lot of stories that are all subjective. Usually,
from everybody's perspective.
Correct. This is how my mom saw him, his sister saw him.
This is how you remember him.
And exactly. So you build up a memory of a person through hearing others people's stories. But you do realize that these stories are subjective. And I do not want my daughters to ever hear anything subjective. I want them to see it all. And that's, in fact, the Ironmind Code. We'd like to put the Ironmind Code, which is a set of disciplines, practiced daily for a very long time, capsulated into an Instagram account, so they could always watch it, see everything in it.
So if somebody wants to watch it, it's on Ironmind Code on Instagram, right?
Correct. At this point.
I'm just taking notes here because you're saying, like keywords like routines, resilience, discipline, day-to-day routines. We're going to go back to everything. And I'm writing down just not to interrupt here. Sorry to interrupt you, but I would just, you were speaking and then I just wanted to go first. I want to go to the general, right? So I want to think I want you to explain to the listener what is biohacking, like for the normal people, because it's just overused. It's a word that, we hear it all. And how many of us understand what does it really mean?
Correct. Well, biohacking became a buzzword, and I cannot be happier that people are starting to get into it deeper and deeper. But from my perspective, biohacking in general is hacking into your biology. Well, up to now, we've been very much led by the feeling. How do I feel? And we used to go to the doctor and get a blood test once a year if we are okay. But that's it. We've had to navigate between our feelings, whether we are sick, whether we are not well, and what the doctor is saying. But the doctor also doesn't have all the data that we would love him to do. And what has happened in the past few years is that I guess many people like me started to question the general medical centers and their practices and start to hack themselves. And we can see hacking from plunge or sauna to different protocols of diets and training. And as we can see lately, the emergence of different peptides and hormones and alternative doctors, especially in the United States, that help us to optimize. So if you ask me, biohacking is the hacking of your biology in order to optimize yourself.
Okay, so on this one, so what's the difference between biohacking and general health, like self-care?
Great question again. Self-care, I think that is very emotional. We all need to take care of ourselves, and those who don't, then I feel I feel the pain of not caring for yourself. And but I think that in some shape or form, we all take care of ourselves. And taking care of ourselves is to brush our teeth and to get ready in the morning and to get dressed and to do the things that makes us feel good. May it be watching TV, Netflix, or training, or going for a run, or being with your loved ones. This is self-care, and we all do that in some shape or form. Biohacking is optimizing who I am, getting the best that I can from myself with the tools that we are starting to see all around us.
I want to hear about all these tools and all this. We're just getting ready, and I'm already getting like a lot of information from you. I remember first time when we talked, and when you start, sharing with me the way that you're doing your day, and I remember when. You were telling me about your trainings. I was just like, I was in shock. I was in awe, and also because you were taking it, like it's common sense, and it's not. First of all, I'm here to tell you. Second of all, you're one of the most inspiring people that I met in this field. And also, if you got me, to to wear the whoop and to really, to track what's happening, you're doing something good, because it starts with one person, with a neighbor, with me, and this is how you help other people without even knowing. You help other people improve their lives. So before I was thinking about asking about motivations, because I see that you're very focused, but I want to first go to the Royce protocol, the day-to-day routine. Royce, wake up in the morning. What do you do from the morning till the evening?
First of all, thank you very much for the compliment. And there's nothing that I want more is to hear that I inspire people to just live better. But again, I just want to reiterate that this protocol is mine, and I'm not sure that it applies or it can assist everybody. Each one of us come with his own passport, biological passport, and each one of us need to fit to his life standard, available time, family condition, business condition, financial situation, the right protocol. And that's maybe something that we should just mention here, that and nothing that I'm going to say right now necessarily could and should apply to everybody. Nonetheless, I'm positive that the basics, the principles are there, and I wish we could spread them all over. It works for me. It works for my friends. I want this to work for everybody around. It certainly helps me, and I would love to share life experiences. And this is it. That's the Ironmind Code. Now, if we talk about my personal routine, then my routine starts with a cold shower, a freezing shower. Now, it's unpleasant, but that's how we start. We start the day with a freezing shower.
What do you mean? You and you and your wife, and the kids? The kids are
maybe it's me and the
angels.
And the angels, exactly. that I'm begging them to give me a break today, but there's never a break, and that's maybe the essence of everything that we do in the Ironmind Code, which is there's no thinking, there's no feeling, there's no I don't feel like it today. There's a routine, and we follow the discipline, and this is in fact what builds later on the resilience, and we'll take it later on to resilience and how the resilience assists you with the life. But being consistent with your routine, I go back to the routine. So we start with a cold shower, and if there's cold plunge, and it would be cold plunge, depends in which house I am. But right now, where we live in Portugal, then this is a cold freezing shower in the morning of 3 minutes with the clock.
3 minutes?
3 minutes with the stopwatch, and yes, I scream, and yes, I wake up the entire house, and yes, the nanny is annoyed by you singing in the shower.
And the neighbors?
The neighbors are far away, gladly, but I'm sure that if they would have been close, they would have also commented, what is happening that every morning this guy is shouting. But yes, you not just standing under the water, by the way. These are valuable 3 minutes to stretch and to work on your stability and core muscles, and trying to brush teeth during the 3 minutes cold shower, standing on one foot and brushing teeth every time with a different hand.
Wow. Okay.
Very,
That's a new one.
That's
Wait a second. I just wanna. Do you have any specific wake up hour, or like, are you part of the 5 a.m. club or no? Like,
I wish I would have been part of the 5 a.m. club. And as I said before, it's very subjective. I think that if you have kids in our ages, you can wake up at 5 a.m., but then it means that you go to sleep much earlier. And because we have social engagement and because this is our time to be together as couple, my wife and I, and it's the time to wrap up the day administratively, then I don't think we can wake up at 5 a.m.
So between like 6, 7, like 6, 7.
6, 7. My time is 7:40, by the way.
Okay.
7:40.
Wow. Okay. We
7:40.
can do that. Okay.
7:40, and by 8:20 I'm outside. But if you want to touch the hour that I wake up, it's a derivative of how many hours I sleep at night. So it could be that I went to sleep at 10. It could be that I went to sleep at midnight, or maybe at 2 a.m. It all depends on what the wearable technology is telling me, and we'll get there later on.
Okay. I will write that down just to make sure. Okay.
The wearable technology that you are wearing, and many others.
It's hidden here.
We'll get there. I can see that you're hiding it.
I'm not ashamed, but you can get obsessive. You can get I got some red flags that I know the first thing in the morning I was checking it. You can get anyway. Going back to your routine.
I would love you to write another note about the word obsessive and whether the wearable technology or any of these routines are making you obsessive. I don't call it at all obsession. The opposite. I think that there's nothing else that's worth our investment more than ourselves. There's nothing else. You can tell me that you want to invest in your business. You can tell me that you want to invest in your kids, in your house. You want to invest in your whatever. But there's nothing more that I would rather invest in than myself. Sounds egoistic, but there's no way that you could be a better husband, a better father, a better businessman, a better friend if you are first and foremost invested in yourself, and now you're in a position that you can give. If you think that it's better to invest in others, and then you're surprised why you are in luck all the time, and you don't have the time, or you don't have the passion, or you cannot focus on, it's only because you have not invested in yourself. So to me, it's not at all an obsession. The opposite. It's the best investment, and I feel much better when I'm having the time to focus and invest in myself. But going back to the routine.
I'm taking. I don't know. Okay. So waking up already, I can rely because I wake up also around 7. So it's 7:40. Wake up, the cold shower.
Freezing shower.
Freezing
Again, there's a difference between cold and freezing.
Freezing
that
shower.
Is painful.
Go to Finland. If you think the water is cold here, go to Finland.
I remember you telling me about Finland, and I followed, I think, your route and went to see Wim Hof last March in Czech Republic, on the border between Czech Republic and Poland. I climbed a mountain with Wim Hof and a team of others.
And the water was cold.
6 kilometers, walking up a mountain, a notorious mountain, at minus 11 degrees Celsius.
Plus the wind.
And let me add, naked. With underwear.
I have to say I'm very disappointed that you came up all dressed up today.
I really wanted to ask Susanna and you, what shall I wear here? And at the end, nobody gave me an answer. So I chose myself today.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Going back to the routine.
Sorry. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Okay. By the way.
Till the evening.
If you're telling me, Roy, this I can do, and I promise you that from now on at 7:40, I'm going to say my husband and daughters, I need my 3 minutes in the shower. And during the shower, I'm going to brush teeth. One time while I'm standing on the right foot, brushing with my left hand. And the other day, the other side, it means that coming here today and sharing this with you was worthwhile. Yes.
Okay. And I will share pictures and videos online.
I would love to see this.
With all dressed up.
Yes, but dressed up in the shower. Yes.
Yeah, dressed up with the surf costume on top, and then like cold shade. Yeah, the wetsuit, and then I just put the water very cold,
By the way, it's very tempting not to. There's always excuse in the morning why not to. Because today the daughter wanted me to take her earlier to school, or because yesterday I had a very hard treatment massage, and my body is in pain, and getting into the shower now would be more painful. However, this interaction with pain early in the morning, to me, sets the day for the rest of the day. It's never fun, but if you are not thinking about this, you put the alarm, you click, and boom, you enter, something happens. Something happens to our brain. Something happens to our endorphins and
it's scientifically
dopamine.
proven. It's
Correct. Something is happening in your body now that you beat the challenge. And this is it. I'm already starting better the day. I beat the first challenge. And if, by the way, the set of disciplines and routines throughout the day are exactly that. Each discipline or each routine has more pain or different pain. And you're now facing a situation that you can easily usher away and go back to the TV or to the Netflix or, okay, I just don't feel good today, or my hormones are not in the right place, or there's always a reason why
always
not
a good excuse, yeah.
Always. However, if you are able to maintain those routines time after time, then with time you build the resilience. And we'll get to the resilience and the efficacy of resilience and what's attributes to this. But going back to the routine, after the cold shower, you run to the kitchen and you take your supplements. And again, each one of us with his own supplements, but I have my supplements.
Okay, well, what are your supplements?
Okay, so in the morning I start with vitamin D. In pomegranate. In our age, close to 50, we have to maintain a certain level of vitamins. And pomegranate, by the way, is known, especially the extract of pomegranate, assisting us with removing plaque from the arteries.
Really?
And in our age, we need to think about our heart. Clearly,
we're not at the same age.
I don't mean. I know. I'm sorry that I squash a decade between us.
Exactly, like 10 years between, like just to make sure.
I refer. By the way, I refer to. I refer in general to everybody, and I wish that people would start with those routines much earlier. Fortunately, we had the privilege of. I think that we, as Israelis, learn about routines from early ages, 18.
From the army.
The Israeli army taught us what routine means. And it was very impactful, especially when the routines are so painful and so unappealing. At the age of 18, when everybody's running around the world and you need to wear a uniform and you cannot grow your hair and you need to cut your beard at a certain, and you need to arrange your bed, and the bed, if not arranged properly, then you're going to suffer much. And those routines impacted me initially negatively. And
obviously,
just want to rebel as much as possible. But today I managed to bring it all. Yes, bring it all back together and think that the routines are adding. The routines and the uncomfortable routines are building something in you that is extremely valuable, at least how I see today's world. And listening to the social media, it seems that so many people are suffering. And like, I want to shout, guys, just get into the gym or get into a certain routine and see how things are starting to fall into place. Okay. Going back to the routine. So we are finishing with we're starting with supplements that's supposed to be taken on empty stomach. And comes with this some sort of caffeine, and it could be matcha, could be coffee. In my case now, it's yerba mate. And then the gym starts. Now, it's not necessarily the gym. It could be a cycling session with a group of cyclists going uphill the Sintra mountain next to where we live. Which is an endurance challenge up to complete exhaustion. It could be paddling against the waves of the Atlantic Ocean. It could be a snowboard downhill that comes after a very long trek, but it has to be something with pain. It's not going to be an easy session. It's not going to be equal to a normal Netflix watching with the family session. It has to bring up your heart rate, and it has to be painful for the muscles. Now, you may ask, why? Why would you do this to yourself? Why would you do this to yourself every day? And if you ask me, this is the essence. The essence is that it's not comfortable, just like the cold shower in the morning, just like remembering to take your supplements, just like refraining from a very tasty cake that looks at you and you're craving it. This is also a part of those routines, disciplines, and consistency that makes you who you are.
So wait a second, you wake up in the morning and you decide what you're going to do, or how do you have like a schedule, or how do you choose on what you do on which day?
So yes, there is a schedule, and there is a great schedule. Sometimes other people are involved, so you have to plan it up front. But on the other hand, we all know that you need a plan, but very difficult to follow the plan rigidly. And I say why? Because if you want to go surf on Thursday and there are no waves, then there's no point to put it there. And if you do want to go surf and there are waves or expected waves, but you have a sore back after a very heavy leg workout before, which you could not avoid, then you will not go to surf, and you will need to find something else, and maybe you'll go to the bikes. So yes, there is a schedule. I know that every week I need to be in the water at least once. I know that every week I need to sit on the bicycle at least once. I know that every week I'll get my 40 minutes of heart rate zone of 4 or 5, which means
very high.
Very high. I know that I'll need to get there. And if I didn't, because we were away, because I had too much on my plate and I didn't have the time to get to the 4-5, then I'll find the time to push myself to the zone 4 and 5 in any shape or form. It could be a very long run. It could be a run. It could be a run uphill. It could be something that pushed the heart rate high. And that's it.
It sounds painful.
It sounds painful, but it sounds masochistic. It sounds masochistic, I agree. But, doing it for, what is it now, 32 years, every day, since the age of 16, in fact, pre-army. This is how it all started. Just wanted to get stronger and bigger to the challenge that came after. But later on, it became a religion. Just like many are going to the church every day, and this is what makes them feel good. This is my ritual, and this ritual brings so many benefits that today I don't think I can. I don't think I should, and I don't think that any of us should park it aside. This painful moment, this uncomfortable moment, these discomfort zones are giving so much that it would be a shame to park it aside. Now, of course, if I'm completely injured and I need to take a break now for a few good months, then this is what will happen. But I think that with today's technology, biohacking, access to doctors and to physicians, you can be clever, especially with, wearable technology. You can be clever and foresee a coming injury and take your foot off the gas and maybe try to bypass it.
And in a smart way.
In a smart way, exactly.
I want to go with you. You mentioned a lot of stuff. I want to ask you about recovery. Just 2 more questions. How many times do you train, or how many hours do you train per week? And the second question was wired but tired. What do you do when you don't feel like doing it?
So yes, today with the wearable technology that I'm wearing, I can clearly see statistics of how many hours a week I'm training and how many times and what have I been training and whether I managed to keep my statistics. So on average, I trained almost 10 hours a week. And I train between 6 to 12 different sessions a week. Yes, but for instance, this week I'm completely off, or at least I've been asked by my osteopath to take time off. But that followed a week of snowboard. And
very intense,
Very intense. During this week, I trained just so much, not only snowboarding, but then the gym in the hotel, and just I guess I exhausted my body. And indeed, the statistics shows the heart rate variability is very low. The resting heart rate is high. I feel the soreness, and I have to be clever and focus now on recovery. So I won't completely eliminate the training, but I'll remove the intensity and focus more on recovery. You ask about recovery, and recovery is diverse. I'm privileged to have the red light sauna, which helps me a lot, and I have access to great physicians. If it's an osteopath or a chiropractor or a physiotherapist or acupuncturist or Reiki or somatic work, all of them are a part of my routine. And yes, it becomes a lot, but it's needed if you want to keep on pushing and keep on pushing for so long, then yes, part and parcel of push is also to know how to recover.
I'm asking you because I also, I want to train 5 times per week, let's say. I have 3 times gym. I have 1 Pilates, at least reform Pilates. I have tennis. And sometimes yoga, I wanted to also to introduce it. But then I just feel that I need to recover. like I need to take that break because my body cannot take it. Or yesterday I had something, then I feel my knee hurting, So the idea is how do you balance this, recover, like doing recovery and then don't forget the what do you do when you don't feel like doing anything? You wake up in the morning and man, I just feel like being in bed. I'm not training today.
So first of all, let me touch the amount of training that you just mentioned. And indeed, it sounds a lot. And on top of it, let's add to this that you're a full-time mom and that you have your own businesses and a partner that you love and you want to spend time with. And where am I recovering here? If I want to train so much and I know now that I need to recover, how do I find the time for that? First of all, we have, again, the wearable technology, and whether you like it or not, it is there. And it's a tool that we've never had before. But you could clearly see through the wearable technology whether the strain that you push, the strain that you exert during this week justifies recovery. You mentioned the word, I feel that my knee is not okay, which is great. We have, of course, to be attentive to what we feel.
No, I have a physical condition.
Correct. So if this is a physical condition, then clearly it needs to be treated before you go back to training. But when we don't really feel like it or we feel weak, we need to take it into context. Sometimes it's psychologically, sometimes we are just disturbed. Sometimes indeed we are just not good enough. Sometimes we are developing something. Something is growing in us, and you can today see through the wearable technology.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. Like I saw my oxygen was like going, the blood oxygen like was not, less than 90, less than 89.
Yes.
And it was already, like beeping, and I was getting a cold. And, I was like, oh, and my skin temperature was a bit higher than normal. So I knew that, okay, something is wrong. Something, my recovery was also on yellow. It was pretty low for I don't know, like a full night of sleep. It just didn't make any sense. And I was getting sick. So I do like the
That's probably
the data.
Before the symptoms kicked in.
No. It was also, I was already feeling like under the weather. And then also I saw that something is happening.
I'll tell you a story that during COVID, for instance, both my wife and I woke up with respiratory rate that was 35% higher than our baseline. For instance, my personal respiratory rate is 13.2, between 13, I think it's between 13 and 13.5 beep per minute. So my lungs expand, contract 13.2, 13.3 times per minute. That's how my lungs usually work. And again, we have now today statistic of almost 6 years. So that's probably your baseline. Now, if you wake up in the morning and see that your respiratory rate is at the 17, 18, something is clearly off here. Now, it was COVID time, and we had no symptoms. I could smell perfectly. I had full energy, the same as my wife, but both of our respiratory rate was completely off. We didn't take any chances. Sorry, before that, we took the examination. We plugged the test into our noses and realized that we have nothing. Nonetheless, we didn't want to take any chance and infect the rest of the kids and the nanny. We got into the car and drove down to a hotel. In the hotel, we were examined again and again. We came clear. We got into the room, rested, woke up the following morning, tested again, and we were positive for COVID. Wow. Which means that the indication that derived, the wearable technology sussed out from our baseline, the indication was correct.
A day before.
A day before. It happens today many times. I can already see how the markers are changing, and I know that I'm heading towards something. Not necessarily in your lungs. It could be somewhere else. But the wearable technology knows you so well, and when you see deviation, you should warn yourself, and maybe then take a step back.
So the purpose is to prevent instead of treating. Can
Correct.
We say that?
Exactly. You could preempt the injury, or you could preempt the next collapse by saying, I'm heading towards something. Let me reduce the intensity of my workouts. I will still go to the workout. I will still attend and show up, and I'll still arrange my hair, get on my gym gear or on the bike gear or into the wetsuit and get into the water. But yes, instead of prolonging the session as much as I should, I'll take a bit less of it. Now you ask about the dilemma
the motivation.
between sometimes you don't feel like it. Sometimes you're just not feeling it. And in fact, I remember many times that I didn't feel like it. I remember feeling it at a much younger age. That I was studying for 2 bachelor degrees at the same time. I was working at night, and I just didn't see how I'm going to fit in the gym into my social life. But it was non-negotiable. In fact, there was a mechanism in me that says, I have to do this. I have to do this. This is my advantage. I know that it's difficult for many, and if I want to stick to my uniqueness, despite the pain, despite the tiredness, I'll go. Maybe today, in hindsight, with wearable technology, I would think twice. Maybe I would not necessarily go and push as hard as I did, but the fact that I managed to keep the routine, and the fact that I kept the training and the consistency for so long, today I can look back and say that there's been phenomenal attributes to that.
And, you mentioned that you started when you were 16, and you mentioned like looking back. So looking back, I want to, take you to that. What did you get wrong at the beginning when you started? You just mentioned a few times, like the pushing, although you were not supposed to. So what did you get wrong? How did you get it wrong? Or if there was anything that you got it wrong?
Great. First of all, I felt strange. I felt that. I felt that I'm following a process that not so popular, and maybe I'm hurting myself, and maybe I'm going to pay the negative dividends at a later age. Maybe it's obsession. But with time, I think that I got the benefits of it, and realizing that as opposed to many of my friends that are now getting old, gaining weight, having issues with sleep and hair, and lack of libido, and lack of care or resilience to life. Come on, you get to a point that this is it. I'm afraid to go on the snowboard. I'm afraid to take this jump. I'm afraid to take my daughter on my shoulders because I might get a sprained back. And here we are. I'm looking back and saying that this perseverance does pay positive dividends. Now, what I could have done better, at the time, we didn't have access to any podcast. We didn't have access to any mentors in the physical world. We just saw the commander in the army who's stronger than you and push you further, and you're being challenged by tough love. And later on, you see somebody in the gym or your personal trainer, but it seems very subjective advice rather than objective. And today, with the wearable technology and the access to different types of protocols, it's much easier for us. It's much easier, I think, today for me to tell my story and hopefully inspired some than it would have been 20 or 30 years ago. So that's the story.
Definitely, yeah.
I remember, by the way, a story. I remember that we had a photo shoot for Speedo underwear, for Speedo bathing suit in New York. And they put us, we were 3 physical fashion models on a treadmill. And they gave us speeds, amphetamines. They wanted us to run until we dry our body. And it was a long, excruciating run in front of a sunny screen. Sun penetrated
the usual
just until you dry, and I don't think that this was healthy. But I think that today, with the confidence that we have, with the wearable technology that we have, with the ability to know whether your VO2 now is at its peak, and you can indeed push yourself, with access to how my heart rate is, am I on zone 4 or 5, or am I now breaking my barrier and something may happen to my heart? I think that today I could have done it. I could push back and say, this is my limit and I'm not pushing it further, or the opposite. I have much more in my tank because I woke up this morning on green, I'm fully recovered, and give it to me. Let's go. And that's maybe the difference. That's the difference between before and now.
Wait, you mentioned this, and I'm just thinking about something else. So when was like a moment for you when you said, this is not about performance? This is how I want to feel. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel strong. So when did it switch from this is about performance, or no, this is this is how I want to be.
I don't think that there's been ever a distinctive moment that I can pinpoint and say, this is where I am going to switch from performance to well-being, to feel good. I do remember that I've been in awe by certain people that I've been training with and asking them, guys, like, I just woke up today and I don't feel well, and they are, come on, we need to do, we have a session here. Let's go. And being inspired by the resiliency and consistency, and clearly adopting the same. And then thinking and posing the questions to them, guys, why don't you take the same set of skills of waking up in the morning, of fixing your hair, of getting dressed, of coming to the gym, or whatever training it is, and following the routine, take the same and into your life, into the same relationship with your husband. I have to hold myself from not saying or not reacting as if you are so resilient and so rigid about the way that you push your body, why can't you push your mind? And maybe this is where I shift from just performance to the mind. This is where it becomes, just a second, if I keep the same set of skills, the same discipline, and apply it on my mind.
I like that.
Here I am. Here now I know what makes me feel good. What makes me feel good would be not to purge when something annoys me, not to collapse when the bank account is empty and I am now in a bankruptcy state, not to collapse when your manager decides to leave and leaves you with a business exposed completely. And even in tough times, stay resilient and know that everything will be fine when ballistic rockets from Iran falls on you and your family's head. And we will be fine. Literally. And this is a resiliency that emerged from the gym, emerged from the pain, emerged from the consistency and resiliency that you develop in those extreme discomfort moments, and then you apply them on your mind. This is, in fact, the Ironmind Code.
That's fascinating. So basically, it's like taking all the code, getting from the gym, from the health, like from everything what you did, and then applying it like in real life, in all the aspects of your life.
Exactly, all aspects. And this is, if we can loop it back to relocate to happiness, to me at least, it's not happiness, it's content.
I wanted to ask you, what does happiness mean to you?
So it is a great question. I don't think that happiness is what I'm pursuing, because happiness is fluid and happiness is changing. And we all know that happiness is slippery. You get the happiness, you get what you want, you are happy, but you cannot prolong it. So you're constantly in pursuit of happiness. And I think it's almost an impossible task to achieve a status quo, some sort of a balance of happiness. But what you can achieve is content. And the content is I'm content with who I am. I forgive myself for the deficiencies, but I'm content with who I am. And I know that I'm strong enough, resilient enough to face with pride and with joy anything that life throws at us. But this cannot be achieved unless you have a track record of resiliency, consistency, and the strength to cope with this.
Getting back, we're getting closer to the end of our episode, and I want to see what I'm going I want to focus and to see what I'm going to ask you the last one. I know that you don't want me, but I want to go back to the routine. No, I do want to go to the routine because you stopped at the gym and we didn't finish the day. Is there something else that you would like to mention, like through the day, that something else that will...
I'll just tap into the nutrition, which is extremely important. And, again, today we have technology that allows us to track calories and to take images of the plate, and immediately all the macros and micros are coming in. I think that this is a great part of, our body is our temple and the mind is so connected, and we have to treat it, and we have to treat it well. And again, going back to the Ironmind Code within the context of Instagram, this virtual or this album that I want to create to my daughters that probably wonder why our father is not eating with us, what other fathers are, or why our father is waking up very early in the morning to follow his routine instead of just hanging out with us in bed. And I just want to say that this is this routine, this tedious routine, today can be achieved or exercised much easier than before, using the phenomenal features that we have left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm. So, monitoring everything and, tracking everything. Okay, there's a lot of stress and anxiety and a lot of things happening nowadays in our world. And I want to kind of like connect it to the motivation and to go back again to because it sounds, it sounds easy when you say it, but for the normal person, when you have like a crazy day or things that, unexpected things from your day, and I'm sure you also have things that, you cannot always respect your schedule, right? Like your program. So what is like the minimum effective like effort that you would do? The thing that, you still do, you'll have to do.
You mean in terms of training or in terms of?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm carrying everywhere a cable. It's a band. It's a rubber band, and I have a very quick routine. It takes about 10 minutes.
Did you bring it here?
No, it's not with me here, but because carrying. I mean, when I live, when I am not at home, when I'm not in my...
okay, I get it, okay. I thought you were like Jane Fonda. I remember when they were like doing the...
Yes. It's a very interesting routine, by the way, that it's quick and it gives me specifically what I need. So this is something that is done almost daily. Today I've done mine, and I think I sent you a picture just after. So if we want to incorporate it into the pump that you get from a simple routine worth everything. So this is something that I would not let go. This band is with me, not this specific band, but I'm carrying bands, I think for maybe 20 years. Everywhere I go, the band is there in the suitcase. If we will travel somewhere, and I know that there won't be any gym facilities, if we're in Burning Man on an RV, then I'll take my band and I'll have my routine on a daily basis. And yes, this is to me...
That's the minimum.
That's the bare minimum. Minimum. There won't be a day without it.
Give me one hack that you would tell somebody, like for 2 minutes, they would do it and they would change their day, like in a good way. That's something that will improve their day.
Do the cold shower, like beat yourself there. There's no doubt that if you bring it into
2
your
minutes
routine,
instead of 3.
Start with one.
Okay, even 30 seconds. I cannot do it.
It's painful. It is painful, but this is exactly it. This is the essence of it.
Tell me for a second, so can you go like from hot to cold, or it has to be cold and then hot? Like if I start with the hot shower and then I just do at the end like 1 minute cold, would it change?
I really don't know the chemistry of swapping from hot to cold. I think it will be much more convenient, by the way, to start with hot and get into cold and then maybe resume the hot. But that's not the essence. The essence is that I'm
suffer.
It's not to suffer. It's
to get like the best
out of the... I put a challenge in front of me.
It's more mental, yeah.
It's very mental. You ask how we can swap quickly the mindset, or how to help somebody in 2 seconds. Like a gift of what can you do to feel tomorrow morning better, without now getting into a group of cyclists or starting to surf or challenging your body in the gym. Then I think that those 2 minutes or 1 minute even, later on you can prolong it to as much as you feel comfortable with, or you can as much as challenging you. But just start with a morning routine that is not convenient. This is not a self-care. That is painful, that is challenging, and that you overcome it on a daily basis. Trust me, you would build at least the
resilience,
the main base of resilience. And if you can later on develop it to more and more and more, you would see that the consistency of your supplements, of your training, of your nutrition, of your sleep, of how you look at your wearable technology just adds more and more elements to that. And all of a sudden you are
on a different level. Yeah.
Completely different level.
Okay, while we are wrapping up, environment, how does it affect you? How does be living here have changed your I don't know, your fitness and the way that you're approaching like the taking care of yourself and everything.
Very interesting that we've been living in London for 15 years and we've been so occupied with ourselves, with getting better, but very tangibly. So when do we get the next car? When there's another zero in the bank account? When do we get another mentor? When is the next Botox treatment? When the new showroom is open and we are being invited? Where is the next party? And when do I get this, clothes or cloth or that I really wanted to, or the new watch? And that's it. We had enough, and we relocated to Portugal. And it is a relocate for happiness. It is relocate to happiness. You have the ability to stop and think about what makes me great. And all of a sudden, you have the time to sit on a cliff in front of the Atlantic Ocean and meditate and look around and assess where you are and what's your contribution to your surrounding, to your environment, and what can I take and give back. So if you really think about this, the whole relocation to Portugal had made us live in a very different environment that allows us to focus on ourselves and our joy, our well-being, and maybe even developing the Ironmind Code. Now, saying that, I don't want to underestimate the privileged position that we are in. We have the time. We have the mindset, we have the experience, we have the finance behind that allows us to deal with those things. And I'm fully aware that this is the pinnacle of happiness. The fact that you can afford yourself to sit and talk about this or share it with others or film it and create something.
And most important, like really having the time in investing yourself.
Correct. And we are privileged that we are in this position that we can. Nonetheless, I think that those principles and values, as I carry them from Israel to New York to Europe until this day, I think that everybody can. So the environment does matters a lot.
How did you call Portugal?
The Blue Zone.
The European Blue Zone. The European Blue Zone.
Yes, nonetheless, it can apply those principles and values and doctrines can be applied just as I have applied them in the deserts of Israel and later on in conditions that are not so favorable in an intense city like New York and London. And now it's much easier here in this environment, but I think it can be applied anywhere. So the environment matters, but I think what matters most is that you get into the cold shower in the morning first and foremost.
It's on my list here. So one sentence, one thought, something that you like to add at the end, and we're wrapping it up.
One sentence. I didn't think about the one sentence.
So whatever, something that you wanted to talk about, you thought about it, I didn't ask you.
No, I think we covered it all.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It was amazing, and I'm coming out with a lot of knowledge and motivation and inspiration. So Thank you so much.
I'm blessed. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.